This is the Business Wealth Show, and today is Thursday, which means that today is Strategic Chats. Strategic Chats is my open Q&A, which basically means that this session is driven by the questions that you ask. So do make sure that you ask questions. For those of you that are new to me, my name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Net & Co, a UK-based accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant, certified Profit First professional, and financial strategist. And I help business owners take home lots more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for joining me. Like I said, this is Strategic Chats. What that means is that this is my open Q&A session. So I am answering the questions that you ask. So do make sure that you ask questions in the comments. I should be able to see them, whichever platform you are asking them on. Hopefully, should the tech all work, I should be able to do that. So please do make sure you ask any business-related questions that you have, anything about general business, about finances, about profit plans, about Profit First, whatever those are, please feel free to ask those in the comments and I will answer as many as I possibly can. But like I say, this session is entirely driven by you and the questions that you ask. That therefore means that if we don't have any questions coming through, don't therefore have much to say. So do make sure that you ask any questions that you have in the comments so that I can answer those. Now, I want to start off today by asking the question, not that somebody has typed in the comments, but actually that somebody just asked me on a call. And that is, what is bookkeeping? What is bookkeeping in reality? What bookkeeping is bookkeeping is basically the recording of transactions. So what that means, it means recording the income. It means recording when you issue an invoice. It means recording when the payment is received and matching that against the invoice that you've issued. It also means taking into account any transaction charges that you might have around that revenue coming in, whether it's Stripe fees or PayPal fees or anything like that. That also needs to be recorded as part of the reconciliation of the revenue when we come to that side of it. Bookkeeping also includes looking at the expenses side, and it includes taking note of the invoices that people issue you and making sure that those are included, and also matching against the payments that you make. It also includes taking into account VAT where you are VAT registered and making sure that that is stripped out as well at the same time, and the correct VAT is applied to each expense. And then looking at the other transactions that are happening in the business. So the payments to yourself, classifying them correctly, whether they are salary, whether they are dividends, whether they are director's loan repayments. So classifying those. And then it also can include some non-cash things as well. So for example, depreciation of assets. If you are depreciating assets the business holds, then putting in the information for that. If you are doing mileage, for example, making sure that that information is put into a system so that you can see and review your numbers, ideally on a monthly basis. So that is what bookkeeping is basically. It's basically getting stuff from the different sources and the different information and turning it into something that is matched and reconciled together. So that is what bookkeeping is. Jason has a question. Jason, thank you so much. Let's see. So Jason is saying, I've read Profit First, but I don't see how I can make more profit if the same money is coming in. Great question, Jason. So for those of you that are not aware of Profit First, I'll just give you a little bit of background on that first. So Profit First is fundamentally a cash management system. What it is a system based on the book by the same name by Mike Michalowicz. So you can check that out by, all your good bookstores will have a copy. I also can give you the PDF download if you go to annetteandco.co.uk/PF book. You'll be able to get that downloaded as well. But Profit First is basically a cash management system, and it basically helps business owners manage cash in a way that means that they are able to take more money home. But Jason is asking the question, well, I've read it, but I don't see how I can make more profit if I've got the same revenue. And the answer, Jason, with that is not in the revenue. If you've got the same money coming in and you need to get more profit, the answer is in the costs. It's making sure that your costs are aligned with the revenue that the business has. And the way I recommend people do this is I recommend that you find what I call the money leaks in your business. So I'll give you a little exercise to do that can help with this, and I'll explain a little bit more behind it as well. So what I recommend everyone does, at least on a quarterly basis, is to gather together the last 12 months business, bank, and credit card statements. So anywhere where business money is being spent. And what I recommend you do is you sit down with a highlighter pen and a red pen and perhaps a glass of wine or a cup of tea, depending on the time of day. And you go through every single expense item line by line by line. First of all, with the highlighter in your hand, and you ask yourself this question: is this expense 100% necessary to keep the proverbial lights on in my business? i.e., I would not be able to run my business without this expense. It is not possible. This is not things that are 80% necessary or nice to have. This is 100% necessary. If I did not have this expense, I would not be able to operate. So something like insurance can be included in that. And if the answer is it's 100% necessary, you can mark it with your highlighter. So go down every single item, line by line by line, month by month, page by page, and ask yourself that question and highlight those. Now, some things will reoccur monthly, and that's fine to highlight it 5 times. So once you've done that, you go through every single page. I want you to flip back to the beginning of the bundle and get your red pen out this time. And this time, ask yourself the question: is this expense delivering me a positive return in terms of money and or time? And if the answer is yes, you can circle it. And again, I want you to go through every single item line by line by line, every single page, every single month, and ask yourself the question. And once you've done that, you're going to end up with a pile of paper where some stuff is highlighted, some is marked red, some is both, and there are going to be things in there that are not marked at all. And the question with those is, what is the purpose? Because if they are not 100% necessary and they are not delivering you a positive return, then what is the purpose of them? It's likely that they're nice to haves. Now, nice to haves in our business are fine, but we need to fundamentally understand that when we have nice to haves, we take money away from our own pockets. We take money away from our family's pockets, and we take money out of profit. So understanding that that is the equation, that is the balance, is really important. So Jason is saying that you understand the money leaks and you've squeezed everything you can, especially over the last 12 months, so everything is streamlined. Okay, awesome, Jason. So in which case, if you are still not hitting those profit first percentages and you're still not making the profit you need to in your business, then you need to go back and examine it again. Because if this is the case, then there's a problem somewhere. Now, often, if you have done that, what we then look at is team. And is your team actually delivering you a positive return? Because the answer might be no. You need to make sure that every team member that you have is bottom line positive, is having a positive impact on the bottom line in your business. And making sure that they are able to do that, and making sure that when you look at your cost of their wage or their their invoice, that actually you are getting ideally 4 times the value from what they are charging you or for what you're paying them. You want your team to be 4xing for you when it comes to the impact they're having. So if you've looked at all the other costs, I suspect you've got a problem with the team bucket. You've got a problem with the team side of things and the team performing at the level and returning at the level they need to in order to assist the business profitably. So that is where I would look, Jason, from that side. I am going to be covering this a little bit more in the Wealth Lab, Building Your Implementable Profit Plan, which I am hosting from the 18th of January. So if you're not already registered for that, Jason, I highly recommend that you register for the Wealth Lab. You can go to annetteandco.co.uk/TWL to register, and you can take part in that, and you can get a bit more insight into the team side of things as well. You're more than welcome, Jason. You're more than welcome. Okay, let's have a look and see any other questions. We have quite a few coming in. Let's see. A question from the Facebook page. I think this is one of my team actually answering this question, even though it says Facebook user. I think it is it's one of the team putting it through. Do you work with tour operators to implement Profit First? Yeah, absolutely. We do. Profit First is not focused on one specific industry or one type of business. Profit First can run for any business across any industry, and we work with businesses across all industries. So yeah, it can absolutely work regardless of the industry you're in. Joe, question from Joe Bryan, is the Wealth Lab only relevant for 6-figure businesses? No, Joe, we also can very much impact 7-figure and 8-figure businesses as well. If you're a 5-figure business or lower or a startup, then most of the information will be relevant, but there will be some bits that are a bit too advanced. So you can absolutely take part in the Wealth Lab. If you have not reached that 6-figure mark yet, you are more than welcome to join in. Just some of it won't quite be as relevant as others. The real sweet spot is for the 6-figure business owner, but there's still very, very relevant things that you can learn and take away if you do not have a 6-figure business yet. So please do feel free to register and join us for that. Okay, let's have a look. A question from Instagram. The government has stopped paying my furlough since August last year, and I was working in December when this lockdown started. Is there anything I should do to receive any kind of payment? The question here is, there is kind of a question back here, and if you're on Instagram, maybe you're not able to answer this, if I might not be able to see it, but it's the government pays the business rather than the employee. So I'm not sure, Dee, if you are coming from a place as being an employer or an employee. So the employer would claim furlough for an employee, and it would be up to the employer to do that. So it would be, if the government has stopped paying furlough, that means the furlough claim hasn't been submitted. That means that's not being done, and you're not therefore receiving that. So there's a bit of a funny happening there. I was working in December when this lockdown started. Is there anything I can do to start receiving any kind of payment? Well, if you're an employee, that needs to go to your employer. So that's a question that needs to go to your employer as to whether they keep you on or what that situation is. I'm not really clear from that question what the answer is, but I hope that's helped either way to explain a little bit more on that as well. I'm going to take a drink of my tea too. Okay, lovely. Let's see if we've got any more questions that have come through. Anything else? Please do post in the comments. Please do let me know if you have questions. This is Strategic Chats on Thursdays, where I have open Q&A for you to ask any questions you have about your business, about finances, about Profit First, about the Wealth Lab or profit planning. Wherever your questions are lying, then please feel free to ask them. I have been running my own business now for, it'll be 12 years in September of this year. So I have worked with businesses in every sector imaginable, I think, just about. So I'm happy to answer any questions and support you in any way that I possibly can with any questions that you do have as well, whether they are finance related or whether they are general business related. I'm more than happy to cover off any of those questions. So do let me know on that front. So let's see if we've got any more coming through. I can only see comments on Facebook, so I'm sorry if you are commenting on any other platforms. I can't quite see those. Let me see if I can pull them up on my phone, though, in case we do have. Oh, there we go. I do have some others on other platforms that have come in. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Been using Profit First. This is kind of showing for me, so I'm not quite sure how this works. But anyway, let's have a look. So apologies, I'm not saying your name because I can't work out how to see that. So I've been using Profit First for a while, but manually. I'd like to know how to use Xero, but based on the profit part of the subcontractor work. So I invoice a client 100, pay the associate 90. So my profit first would be on the 10%. How do I show that in Xero? Thank you so much, Jackie Foster. Okay. I understand your question, Jackie. So the real key fundamental here is to understand that there is a difference between running profit first and the management of cash and the recording of your entries, your accounting and bookkeeping recording. Okay. Profit first manages the cash. Xero or QuickBooks or anything else records transactions. Now they're the same transactions and it's the same cash, but you need to think about these as separate things almost, because over here you're doing profit first and you're saying you're doing it manually. So I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean by that, because profit first is manual. Profit first involves looking at the income that's come in the bank account and then allocating it to the other bank accounts. That is a manual process. There's no automation able to happen there. Now you're saying you'd like to know how to use Xero based on the profit part and subcontracting work. So how you use Xero is you enter your invoice for your client for £100, and then you enter your expense from your associate. You have both those things in Xero because Xero is your record of accounting transactions. So those two things both happen, and they're linked by the way that they're both referring to entries in your business, but they're separate things at the same time. There's the management of cash under Profit First, and there's the recording of your data in Xero. So when you ask, how would you show it in Xero? You would show your invoice, and then you would show your expense as your associate cost, and then your gross profit would be your £10 when you show that in Xero. That's how that would work in accounting terms. In Profit First terms, your £10 would be your real revenue number. So I hope that makes sense, Jackie. And then on Periscope, let's have a look. I've been using Profit First for a while. But, that's the same question. It's come through both. Okay, fine. Excellent. Let's see. Any more questions that we have here? Let's have a look. I think I've covered all the questions that we have. If anyone has anything else, please do ask in the comments. Please do let me know, and I will happily answer those. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Strategic Chats, of course, happens on Thursdays. So if you have any questions, make sure you save those and do ask them. I am happy to answer any questions that you have. But if we have no other questions coming in, then I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Remember, if you've not already registered for the Wealth Lab, building your implementable profit plan, please do join me for that. It is completely free, and I will step you through how you can get a profitable 2021. So do join me for that. I'm live every day the week of the 18th of January. Now, I know with homeschooling and all that stuff, people's days and diaries might be a little bit crazy just now. I am going to be live every day that week at 1:30 p.m. UK. If for some reason one of those days you can't quite make it live, the replays will be available for a few days. So you will be able to catch up on those. So do make sure you register for the Wealth Lab Building Your Implementable Profit Plan. You can head to annetteandco.co.uk/TWL to do that. And I would love to see you there. So thank you so much for joining. I appreciate your time. I know it's incredibly precious. So thank you for spending some of it with me. And when am I live again? Let me let you know when I am live again. I'm actually going to try and be live this evening about 9 p.m. in Clubhouse. So if you are in Clubhouse, I am Annette Fergs in Clubhouse. So do make sure you join me there for that. And I am also, let's have a look at my diary. I am also going to be live again, wherever you are watching, tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. So I will look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, take care.